Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum. I'm Zamin Siddiqui and like always, welcome to my YouTube channel, ZimiSays. Yes, today I got one famous personality from me. He- He's a former cricketer from Zimbabwe and now he's one of the most reowned cricket commentators, the one and only Poomie Mbangwa. Hi Poomie, what's up? How are you doing?
I'm good, Zamin. How are you?
I'm good, man. What's going on in South Africa? How's the COVID
Um,
situation here?
COVID is there. It's not good, as is the case pretty much everywhere in the world. Yeah, difficulties for a lot of people. And yeah, I had COVID actually. I'm also recovering.
Oh,
Uh,
God bless you, man.
yeah, yeah, thank you. And I know there are so many people out there in the world who um, have not managed to recover. That's how serious the situation is. So it's something that we've got to make sure that we keep ourselves on top of. Keep washing hands, keep wearing masks, doing as much as we can to try and stay safe and healthy.
Oh,
Hope you're safe and hope your family is safe
yeah,
too.
yeah. Okay, Poomie, I'll start off the interview here, and here's my first question. Tell us a brief little journey about your cricketing career.
Oh, well, the journey is a long one.
Yeah,
I don't
not
know about.
a brief one, a short brief one.
The shortened version, I suppose, is that I fell in love with the sport at the age of about 10 or 11 and played it in school. Enjoyed it that much that I continued to play all through school and out of school, and fortunate enough to, make representative teams in Zimbabwe and then get selected to play for Zimbabwe and to represent Zimbabwe in test matches and one-day games. And that's kind of was a dream for me, and it happened, and that was brilliant, and it was fantastic whilst it lasted. It would have been nice for it to be a lot longer, but you get what you get. That's just how it goes. So yeah,
Okay.
and then the journey goes from there. It doesn't end, fortunately for me. It doesn't end with me not playing anymore. As you said at the start, I now talk about the game and watch it whenever other teams play, whether it is Zimbabwe or it is India or Pakistan or Australia or Sri Lanka, whoever it may be. So yeah, I get to commentate on it, and it's kind of second best to playing.
Okay, Umi, you have got quite a good success in this cricket broadcasting field from the past many years. I mean, the broadcasters want you to be part of the T20 league or any series in which South Africa are playing. So, does when you ended your cricketing career, had you thought before that after retirement you'll come in this broadcasting field, or it was just accidental?
No, I hadn't actually. I hadn't thought that that's what I would do. It wasn't as if I decided the path was to go off the field and you know, into a television channel or into the commentary box. It just that sort of happens. I think right now, these days, people can have that sort of idea in that that's the way they want to go. But it's a bit different also for me because at the time my mind would have been very much set on continuing to play, on trying to continue to play. And when broadcasting came along, I was a bit of at a crossroads of what do I do? Do I keep playing or do I not? And broadcasting wasn't an option. It was just something that happened, if you know what I mean. So I'd be asked to do interviews. I'd be asked to fill in here and there, and I did that. But all still in a case where I'm searching for what might I do if I don't do cricket, as in if I don't play the actual game. So then I enjoyed it because I enjoyed it and got asked back, which is essentially how it works. You get asked to come. You don't force yourself on anyone. You can't really force yourself on any broadcaster. And I kept getting asked back, and I kept enjoying it more and more. And I, as happens, with practice, you get a little bit better. So that's what happened, and then it kind of became a career. It just morphed into one, and now it's what I want to do. It's what I like to do. It's what I enjoy doing.
Okay, to me, South Africa men's cricket team is touring to Pakistan after 14 damn long years, and first our viewers want to know that are you in the commentary box of this series, and how are you looking forward to this series overall?
Yeah. First thing to say is, yeah, it's been too long since South Africa have been. I don't know if you know this, but Pakistan holds a special place at my heart because that was my first international tour for Zimbabwe, and I played my first Test match in Faisalabad. So that's it's a very special place. I absolutely love Pakistan, and it'll always have that place in my heart because of exactly that. Unfortunately, I am not coming to Pakistan this time. I just told you I had COVID, so I'm recovering. I might be smiling and all of that right now, but I'm not a 100% yet. I would have loved to come. In fact, I was sort of making preparations to come over there, and it's just not going to be this time. But hey, seeing as tours have started again over to Pakistan, you never know. Maybe soon I'll be back in Pakistan. I am looking forward to the series though. I'll be watching every single ball from here in Johannesburg. I think it'll be a good series. Number one, because South Africa is is out of their comfort zone over here, and they're in the subcontinent. It's tough over there. It's tough for all teams, that are not from the subcontinent to turn up in the subcontinent. I also think because they're a developing side, it's going to be a bit difficult for them. But they do have some hardened players. For all of them, I think it's going to be a first tour to Pakistan. They've never been. They're all very young. So all green and wet behind the ears. So they're no doubt going to get some sort of baptism from the Pakistanis. However, Pakistan as a side also is developing. And so it's not going to be a case of, a very experienced Pakistan side that takes on a South African side that's not experienced. So I think the teams will be quite nicely matched, and we should be in for some good cricket.
Okay. Surely, man, the fans will gonna miss your voice behind the mic, because they were all looking forward to listen you, but no problem next time. Okay, to me, do you think South Africa will have problem on the pitches here in Pakistan, as they firstly are touring after 14 long years? Plus, though the pitches are here are flat and are almost same enough as compared to Sri Lanka and India, but still haven't played here for so long. Will there be any disadvantage to them of this?
I think that there'll be a home advantage in that the Pakistani players will be more used to their own home conditions. That happens, doesn't matter where anyone's playing. But I think more than anything else it's the fact that all those players in the South African side, even though they've been to various subcontinent countries like Bangladesh and Sri Lanka and India, and they've probably, some of them played in the UAE. Um, it's not quite the same in Pakistan. I don't think it's going to be too bad for South Africa because in Pakistan, unlike in India sometimes and in Sri Lanka sometimes, and maybe even Bangladesh as well, you don't get those raging turners that you tend to get in those other three countries. The wickets in Pakistan tend to hold that bit longer. You also have the reputation of producing fast bowlers who need to work well, on pitches over there, and reverse swing, and they do need some sort of pace in the pitches. Which, yes, there's not going to be a great deal, but for instance, Rawalpindi of the past would have some pace in it. Karachi, yes, is going to be flat and it's going to be good for batting, but speed through the air. If you think back to the likes of Wasim and Waqar and Shoaib and those guys who used to run up and bowl as fast as ever and bowl dead straight as well and do something through the air. So for the South Africans, it'll be about their skills if they're bowling, but then with the batters, every bowler from Pakistan who's a fast bowler is able to move it this way and move it that way. Get your pads out the way, make sure you use the bat. That's something that they're going to have to learn and understand really quickly. So yeah, I think it'll be testing, but a different kind of testing to what they might get if they were in India or in Sri Lanka.
Okay, Babar Azam is currently the most world-class batsman he can say from Pakistan team, and overall, I mean, this man has all the shots and can smash any bowler on his given day. So, though the squad South Africa has announced, there pretty much good amount of bowlers like Kagiso Rabada and others. So, what strategy do you think they will have to get him out quickly and not let him score much runs?
It's very difficult to keep really good players down. That's why they're really good players. That's why you pick him out. That's why you'd say, this is the guy, King Baba, I think you guys call him. Is legendary. He's a really good player. The best thing about it is that he's still so young, and he holds it quite well. And that there's a whole lot of pressure. What I love about Pakistan, which I think must be quite difficult for all the Pakistani players, is the passion of all the fans. And their passion, sometimes boils over. So because of this passion, there's this general expectation that can be really weighty on their stars. And Baba, being the main guy, is going to be expected to get all these runs because one is at home, number two is the captain, three, he's been out of action because of injury, and so everyone wants him to come back and they want him to come back with a bang. If you're South Africa, I think you'd be quite happy that he hasn't been playing. And so, he might be a little bit rusty and that gives them a bit of a chance. But I don't think you can just keep a good guy down. I'm pretty sure he'll get a score somewhere along the line if he doesn't get many. But as ever, to good players, you've got to bowl well, you've got to give them as little as possible and make it as difficult for them as possible. That's kind of the best you can do. And there'll be the plans that they have, which they will have seen over time, on how to try and get him out. It doesn't mean it'll necessarily work that way, but it makes for a good contest when you speak of the likes of Kagiso Rabada, when you speak of the likes of Anrich Nokia, who've got really great pace and will be trying to, bowl fast on pitches that are not as responsive like here in South Africa. Lungi Ngidi as well. Those three will probably make up the attack along with Keshav Maharaj, who will have to keep things steady and be quite good and be very good actually if he's going to keep Pakistani batsmen quiet. So yeah, it's a big challenge. It's a good challenge, and I think it's one that the South Africans will relish.
Okay, who do you think are the most favorites of winning the both T20 and the Test series? Your predictions on that?
In the 2020 series, I think that Pakistan are the favorites for sure. I think your guys' team is very good at 2020 cricket. Old Man River, Muhammad Hafiz, he keeps scoring runs for fun. You've also got so many of those all-rounders who are able to just turn up and do good things in the various spaces in the game. So yeah, I think you're very good and very skillful 2020 side. South Africa, I think, are still trying to find their 2020 side. And also because of the way that things have gone, because of COVID, I don't think they've taken a full squad. By full squad, I mean, you can't really cover both bases. You can take your test squad and take some players that will play both formats. But you can't pick two squads. So for South Africa in the 2020, I mean, they could win because they've got really special players as well. People like Quinton de Kock and Kagiso Rabada and Faf du Plessis, all these guys, they can win a game on their own. But in terms of who starts as favorites for the 2020s, I think it is actually Pakistan. As far as the test matches are concerned, I think those are quite even actually. I think because of home conditions, I think I'd expect that Pakistan would feel going in that they're the stronger. But I don't think South Africa should be taking a backward step at all. I think despite the inexperience, despite the rebuilding phase of their team, I don't think Pakistan are as strong as they would like to be. You can tell also by the way that the squad has been changed and there are chops and changes here and there, that things are not so rosy in their camp. So South Africa, I think if their bowling's going okay, they should be all right. I think it'll be quite even, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if we got 2 draws.
Yeah. Okay, Poomie, do you think that after the retirements of some great South African cricketers like Hashim Amla, the great Mr. 360, the AB de Villiers, South Africa's batting performance has dipped a little, or do you think there are uh, other reasons for that, for this decline?
Yeah, look, I think that's what happens. If you think about what happens in every side, doesn't matter which team it is. If you take out world-class players, then it takes some time to find somebody else who's going to not so much fill those shoes, but who's going to grow into that role. Because these players will have played for 10, 12 years. And so they've not even been thought about in terms of selection. So, Hashim Amla has been number 3 for South Africa for a long time. You think back to 2004, 2005, 2006. I mean, the guy's been playing. And de Villiers as well, same sort of story. So that's a very long time, and once a guy like that goes, and now if you take 2 of them or 3 of them, of course it's going to be difficult to fill in. And so it gives an opportunity to younger guys. Some young South African guys are getting a go, and that's good. That's why we love the sport. Think through the ages as far as Pakistan is concerned, and think through their batting. I mean, I remember starting up and playing against Saeed Anwar and Ijaz Ahmed, Amir Sohail, all those guys, and before them, the great Javed, before him, the great Zahir Abbas. So you go through the ages, and each time one of those iconic players goes, you don't know how the team is going to fix that. but somebody turns up. That's what that's the beauty of the game. And there'll be a dip before that someone turns up. Here we are talking about King Baba, right? But he wasn't there. If you go back 5, 6, 7, 8 years, he wasn't there, right? There was nobody. You're like thinking, oh, who's it gonna be? In fact, many would have been sitting there thinking, oh, Azhar Ali is the next guy. Azhar has done fantastically well, but now here's Baba, you know. So this happens. This is the cycle of life, the cycle of cricket teams, the cycle of everything.
Poomie, over the past few years, unfortunately, we have seen that many talented South African players have gone to sign a compact deals in the England's county cricket, like Colin Ingram, David Beezer, Riley. So these are those players who are performing really well in the T20 leagues right now. So, what do you think that cricket in South Africa should do to stop all this? Because this has to stop at one point.
Yeah, well, fortunately, you know, all that Colpack stuff is done. You can't do it now because of Brexit. So it's a problem that they did have. And I don't think it's so much a problem that they could stop. You can't stop people doing what they want to do. You're never going to be able to do that, because there is that opportunity for those guys to be able to go and play there and earn more money. They're going to do it. And it's been happening for a very long time. You know, I'm trying to think of players way back then who started, you know, so like Claude Henderson back in the day, H.D. Ackerman, trying to think of, I think Charles Langerfeld might have played in Colpack, Alfonso Thomas, you know, so you could go. Faf du Plessis
Oliver.
went on a Colpack as well. Yeah, you know, so
Oliver also he is kind of
Olivier, yeah, but I think these things can happen if there is a way for them to happen. That's just the way things go. I think when you hear teams start talking about who has left, it's because of what's then happening in the situation. So in the times when all those other names that I mentioned went off and played, you know, on Colpack deals, nobody asked any questions, because there were the likes of Callis and Smith and De Villiers and Amla, and so it didn't matter who was not there. But then over a period of time, some of those guys leave, and then you start focusing on who's not there. But that's a bit unfair. It's an unfair way of looking at things. As I say, though, now nobody has to worry about that, because you can't go on Colpack anymore. And so things will kind of revert. And South Africa are revamping their first-class system and increasing the number of teams. I think what it'll do is it'll say to all those people who did go on Colpack, who are still eligible to play and are still of the right age to be challenging for the national side, they'll have an avenue to come back and to be able to play in teams here, because there'll be more teams, and perhaps that will make South Africa's system that bit stronger.
Okay, Poomie, I'll talk about Dale Steyn over here. Now we all know that he has passed his prime time of his career, and now he's seen playing in the T20 leagues now. So what future you see of him in the South African team right now? Yeah, please. Can you?
Yeah. So age comes to everybody. Time waits for no man. Dale Steyn is a fantastic bowler. I'm an absolute fan of Dale Steyn, absolute fan. And I don't know if there's anyone in the world who isn't a fan of his bowling, particularly. As a guy, he's a nice guy, really nice guy too. He served South Africa greatly, particularly in Test match cricket. And that's where I'm mostly a fan, and is done in Test matches. That is, South Africa's leading wicket taker in Test matches is apt actually because he was just fantastic, and for 10 years pretty much straight, didn't get injured, didn't miss a game, you know, miss many games. And he's the reason why they were number one for a long time. He's the reason why they were good tourists. But yeah, South Africa has this tradition of breeding really good fast bowlers, exceptional world-class fast bowlers. You just have to go through the ages, and you'll go through various names from, you know, Donald to Pollock to Steyn to Ntini to, you know, now there's Rabada, and that's without saying other names who would have been in and amongst the, you know, like Monet Morkel, like Vernon Philander. You know, there's so many guys who have done so well in the fast bowling stakes that there are more that are coming up. So Rabada now, and Ngidi and Nokia, and on we go. You know, that's just how it goes.
Okay, Poomie, here's my one last question. It's basically a rapid fire, and you have to get quick one-liner answers of that.
I'll try my best.
Okay. One of the most funniest cricket commentators in the commentary box you have ever worked with.
Funniest guy is Bumble Lloyd, David Lloyd from England. Yeah.
Okay. Favorite food?
Rogan Josh, simple.
If you were to have one super power, what would it be?
To know what people are thinking.
Okay. Your favorite holiday destination?
Oh, that's a difficult one because I like to go to many places. I'll have to say Victoria Falls. I just love it there. I love how it gets me every time. I don't know if you've been or not, and if you haven't, one day you should go to Victoria Falls. It's absolutely fantastic, especially when it's really full and the rainforest goes. It's awesome.
Okay, to me, this was the last question and answer for this session. And first of all, thank you so much for taking your precious time out for this interview. And we fans are surely gonna miss you in the Pakistan versus South Africa series.
I too will miss you, but I won't miss any of the action. The action
Okay.
will still be just as good. It's been good to talk to you, Zaman. You take care.
Okay. So guys, that's all from me, and to me, goodbye.